Hello, and welcome to episode dos, episode 2, episode 3. I don't even know if that's...
I think that's 3 in French.
That's 3? Well, we're gonna try that again next week, and I'll know. What is the French one? De? Probably. Welcome to episode 2 of The Good, The Dan, The Florida Man. With me, as always, we have The Good.
Hi guys, I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you.
We're gonna
go by youth best.
Yeah, we're gonna get these. I guess so. Okay. Yeah, we haven't discussed any of this.
No, we didn't.
This is how you know we got
I'm gonna
rehearsed it.
surprise you guys with a new intro every week until it sounds good, and then we're just gonna cut and paste every week.
Well, good to know this one won't be repeating.
No, it sounds great.
We just need to interrupt Ryan anytime he tries to introduce himself.
We have The Good.
My name's Ryan.
Yeah, and we also have...
Wow, this is just...
We have the Dan.
Hi. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And we have me, the Florida Man, Ben Brainard. Thank you all for joining us against your will. We're gonna, before we jump into our story time this week, Ryan, you got any shows coming up?
Yeah, right now, from what I can tell, schedule-wise, I've got like once a month live streaming at Flappers Comedy Club. So if you want to see me virtually, you can do it there. Sometimes I'm on stage there. Sometimes I just do it virtually. Other than that, it's just colleges. So it depends on which college you go to if you can see me. So that is what we're up to.
Fair enough. Dan?
I have the Comediathlon at Improv Broadway in Provo, Utah this weekend.
Sorry. Stop right there and explain what a because it's not what I think it is, but what I want it to be is comedians doing Olympic events while telling jokes.
Actually, to be honest with you, I have no idea what it is. They said just bring
your good. So good.
It very might well be me swimming, me doing some variety of sporting activities, which is also funny. So come and check me. You know, you can't be disappointed, basically.
Unless you are, but when
if you want to see me shirtless, is what you should say. Then you.
When is
either a comedy show or it's an Olympic event, it's going to be shirtless. So.
Okay, and wait, when is this? When is this?
That's my intro. This Friday.
This Friday is in a few days from the time we're recording this, or this Friday is in when this drops. So people are gonna hear this and be like, "Oh, I missed it."
Oh yeah, people are gonna know that they missed it after this.
Okay,
it is definitely Friday the 12th.
So next week, come back and listen to us talk about what a comediathlon turned out to be. I have a few shows coming up. 323 in Orlando. I'll be doing a live TV recording for the show Funny Not Famous. Still waiting for them to flip that around for me. June 6th, I'll be in Wesley Chapel, Florida at the new Side Splitters. And June 16th, I'll be back in my hometown of Daytona Beach, Florida at the Hilton Garden Inn Ballroom Lounge. The Hilton, dude. There's one. Just go to it. It's Daytona Beach. There's not like a whole slew. There's not a bunch of Hiltons you can get lost in Daytona Beach. Last week when we did our first episode, a lot of people wanted us to talk about how we got into comedy. But instead of listening to other people and what our audience wanted to hear from us, we just told other stories. So this week we're going to talk about how each one of us got into comedy. And let's just hope it's weird. Mine's weird. Mine's pretty weird. So, Ryan, you want to start us off there, bud?
Sure. I'll kick us up. Yeah. So I've done improv comedy right now for 14 years.
Aren't you 16?
Yeah, right. I know. I started as a very baby boy.
Wayne Brady was my father. I came out and
his first word was improv.
He came out of the womb saying yes and. Like the doctor was
See,
like, "This is a beautiful bouncing baby boy," and Ryan was like, "Yes, and I can dribble too." Whoa!
See, this is exactly the reason why I hate telling my comedy story, because when you do it, whenever you do it around stand-ups like, look at improv, not favorite. It's always funny because like improv and stand-up like should be friends, but they're so not.
No, dude, it's like the way that I describe it, it's like running track versus running long distance. Improv is running track. It's like running a 100-yard dash every few seconds, and then stand-up is like, I have trained for this marathon for the past 4 years. And you are about to watch me jog at a steady pace.
Consistency. Like that's... Yeah, no, I know. I did start young though, and I started like this camp, and they were like, "Let's do improv," and I was like, "Improv?" And
it's getting worse. It was at a camp.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, I know. And what makes it worse, I'm Jewish. We don't do those anymore.
No, and I can't do my edgy jokes. Okay, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. I don't.
It's my thing to swing at.
Okay, I'm quitting the podcast.
But yeah, no, I did that, and then I essentially like I kept doing improv, and I was actually gonna change because my high school and my middle school was connected, and I had such a horrible middle school. It's like I'm gonna change and go to a different high school, but for some reason someone was like, "Hey, our high school has an improv team," and like the teacher was taught by Del Close and things like that, so it was like you might want to be there for that, and so
that's what made you stay.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You're
improv.
14-year-old Ryan was like, I'm gonna skip town, man. I'm gonna make a name for myself. I'm gonna be good, and I'm gonna be happy. And then one little, 13-year-old preteen punk is like, yeah, but improv. And Ryan's like, I'm staying here.
So it's even dumber than that.
Like,
it was
no,
literally
I tried to make it so dumb.
He's like, yes, and I'm staying.
There was a guy. Dang, that was perfect. And I hated that I loved that.
Just wait until me and Dan do our stories, and we're both like, yeah, so we did improv first.
Yeah, my thoughts right now is you guys are having fun. I can't wait for your stories. I can't wait I can't wait.
Oh, you can't make fun of me for my story. I already make fun of me for my story.
Yeah, no, actually, so get this. It was actually a dude who graduated that school who works at a coffee shop that my parents knew that were like, yeah, my son hates that school. And he was like, hey, I should stick around and do improv. And so I did. And
hold on, this just got way dumber. Because it wasn't, okay, so I thought for sure it'd be like one of your friends that was like, Brian, don't leave, just stay here and do improv. But no, it was a disgraced former improv student living in that town, working at a coffee shop that was like, no, this place is great, you have to trust, like, I know what this looks like, the optics are not good, but like, I'm happy here. This is what I wanted to do. He'll love it. I mean,
I know it looked like it worked
opening up at Starbucks for him.
Oh my god! I just like it went from roasting Ryan's friend.
You know, to be fair, I wish any of what Ben had just said had been an exaggeration. Like, I wish any part of that had been different. Any part. But
I love that so much.
Yeah, but no. So I stuck around and did improv, and believe it or not, like improv was like people liked the improv team for some reason, which I don't understand. But we did short form. Yeah, which you would. So weird.
Yeah.
What is an audience like for improv in Missouri?
Well, where in Missouri was this?
Really?
St. Louis. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
like
pretty.
County,
yeah. The city is fairly diverse.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was great, and we did short form improv, and then I was like, I'd done improv, and had for like years at that point, and so I was gonna. This is gonna get so much worse. I was gonna go to college, and so I went to college with my best friend. We went to this place called Calvin College. It is a Christian private school in Michigan, so it's cold 9 months out of the year.
Not to be confused with Calvin Coolidge, who was a president. I think. Right? Am I right? I don't know.
Yeah, you're
100%
right.
History.
Calvin Coolidge actually came after someone it was either assassinated or just died. I think it was James A. Garfield. Yeah, I think Garfield died in Coolidge.
I'm just gonna go ahead and blindly trust you on that.
Thank you. I wouldn't, but I know he came afterwards.
Am I gay for thinking that for the first Calvin that came into my head being Calvin Klein? Am I like that gay? Being like underwear.
You're the token gay of the podcast.
Yes.
So
Okay,
someone had to
100% of our gay population thought it was.
I just had to make sure I was.
We'll get when this podcast airs, all the gays will have to be like, no, Dan, that's just you, and then just so you know, and then the improv gays will be like, yes, and I thought of Calvin Coolidge.
So I went to Calvin College because they had a great engineering program. Fun fact: I did not graduate with an engineering degree, and they had a great improv team. I kid you not. And
no.
Yeah, well, get this. So the first year
I can't imagine if you're in engineering college and you have a great improv program, you don't have great engineering students. Like I'm just you're gonna sit there and tell me you're in engineering college and your students are comfortable performing in front of others? No, that's not.
It wasn't an engineering college.
No.
It wasn't an engineering college. It just had a good engineering program.
Sure.
When I graduated, we were number one. We were the number one private college in the entire Midwest. Essentially, so all the
weird
states.
Flex, but okay.
Wow,
Weird flex, right? Yeah, but hey,
you
what do I do with my degrees right now?
You were way ahead of all the other 2 engineering programs in the Midwest. That's really good numbers there, Ryan. There was you, and then there was 2 other things that people hadn't heard of before, and you're like, dude, we're crushing it right now. The whole Midwest on a Tuesday, this is amazing.
It's just chilling.
Guys, your entire engineering program is an improv team.
Oh my gosh, we're just
engineering
materials.
Engineering is so much like improv you wouldn't believe. Thermodynamics,
I love it so
yes, and statics. So, I mean, really.
But here's the thing: what gets worse, I didn't make my improv team on the first side. And get this, guess why? There was a girl on that improv team who'd either dated a guy or knew a guy that looked like me, and she hated me.
Wow.
We had never spoken words together at all.
Wow.
And she hated me.
You're going to be a white man on a podcast blaming a woman for your downfalls when we're recording on International Women's Day. I can't believe all of the coincidences of... I thought LA improv kids couldn't get worse, and here we are.
Look, I'm just calling it like I see it, okay? That's what was relayed to me, okay? It doesn't make me a bad person. Maybe, I don't know. I hope not, but
I can't believe you're gonna try and mansplain, not mansplaining to me right now.
I tried to mansplain you. You know what I mean?
If Limbo was Ryan's social standing, he would be so low right now. I mean, just, how low can you go? And Ryan's like, to the flow? All the way to the flow. I'm at rock bottom, my bro.
I'm all the way down. I was so... But yeah, so I did. By the way, after that didn't stop. I started doing. There was, for some reason, I don't know why this was happening. There was an improv group that was starting exactly at that time, at the beginning of our school year, in this dive bar called Mulligan's. It is a biker bar that had a stage in the back that would almost exclusively play heavy metal stuff. And for some reason, they were like, "How about some comedy?" And
they didn't want improv comedy. They wanted children to make fun of.
You're right. And they were successful.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You can't destroy the self-esteem of anyone that has no social awareness. It just can't happen.
They are invincible.
Well, also, it gets worse because the name of the group was called Fictional Friends. And so when I would tell my mom I'm going to go hang out with my fictional friends, I'd sound like I was lying.
Every single sentence is immediately followed up by Ryan going, and it gets worse. But at no point during this were you like, oh boy, is this getting worse? Maybe I should change my trajectory. Maybe I should change the path that I'm on. Ryan is like,
move to LA.
L. I'm just going to keep going. L.
And oh gosh, and I'm just thinking as where this is going, and it's a long path for this to take any sort of upturn. So yeah, I mean I did improv with them, and then I went home that time and I started doing stand-up. So I was like, stand-up's the only thing that I myself can control. You know what I mean? You don't need a team for it. It's all us.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You can control the audience too.
Yeah. It depends on you can control the hosts and the bookers. And yeah, you can't. But
You just wait until that one woman starts doing stand-up comedy. And I'm not even talking about the one woman from previously in the story. I mean, just like there's one woman that does stand-up comedy, and you just have to wait.
Just look like you're the one that hurt me. No, that's not what's happening. I got no problem with women. It was just that chick hated me. Like that's
Ryan
you're weirdly defensive.
Hates women.
That's why.
Right, we have to stop the story
so
really quick.
grateful
I just want to Ryan, real quick. I don't know. Like, there's important things that are happening. I just want to know, why do you hate women?
This is us canceling youth, Pastor Ryan.
Dude, I'm over 75% of my audience is women. I can just feel them leaving right now. I can just feel them be like, I hate this. And I ladies, I want to let you know, I also hate this. Like,
I thought you were about to be like, I also hate women. So Ryan's like, I hate me. I hate women. Like, I just hate everything that's happening right now.
I hate that women hate me. Like, it's an obvious cycle. No. So I went to stand up for the first time. And I was like, that was not horrible. And so I was like, I'm going to keep doing that.
So you just kept lying to yourself.
Yeah, I did. I kept doing improv and stand up. That was the two things that I was doing back and forth, like, constantly. It's funny because they always say, like, do 10,000 hours or something to master it. And for some reason, I don't know why, but at like 14, I was like, I'm going to do 10,000 hours of improv. And I can tell you right now, I've done 10,000 hours of improv. Wow. And that
he has a stopwatch still. He has just like the stopwatch he bought back in like 1998, and he's just like, every time I get on stage, I click it. I haven't reset it since I was 12.
It's been incredible. I think I was 10 when I started doing improv. So I was like this,
Other people's goal is to make money and live a good life. You were like, 10,000 hours of improv will be great.
You know what? I realized, Dan, that neither of those things were
succeed.
Options. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
live a good life, make money, not happening.
You went to a school where the engineering department was great, and you were like, still, 10,000 hours of improv is what I'm achieving.
Which explains why I didn't graduate with an engineering degree. To be
Ryan's
honest.
like, I don't know if 10,000 hours of improv comedy is going to help people stop making fun of me, but it will give me some really good quips to use when they do.
Well, that's really
I'm going to be so quick. Oh, boy. They will have to respect me, please.
My comebacks are going to be great. That's what
I will be able to tell them to go away in so many voices and characters just on the spot.
That's not wrong. That's so not wrong. But yeah, so I did stand up, and I finished that first year of college. I went back for the second year, and it was the same girl who just hated me, did not get me on the team, but they took my best
Ryan, why
friend
do
who I
you
lived
hate
with.
women?
No!
It's a recurring theme. Every time I think we're past it, Ryan just comes back with hating women on International Women's Day. I can't believe it.
If it makes you feel better, I don't hate women internationally. I just hate this one chick specifically.
This one woman in Missouri.
Yeah, right?
Ryan's like, I haven't gone to Spain with Michigan. This is just national hatred of women. This isn't international.
It's very localized, to be honest. Like it's very close. But yeah, so I didn't get it, and they took my best friend who I lived with, who was my roommate, and that was like devastating because I was like, oh no. Which now looking back at it, it's like, man.
Every day when your roommate came back in the room, you had to look at him and be like, et tu, Brute?
Kinda, yeah.
And he would look at you and say,
stopping me from living my dream of performing 10,000 hours of improv.
And he would look at you and say, yes, and I'm gonna do it again tomorrow.
Okay, but if a movie is made, I do expect it to be called 10,000 Hours, and I do expect a heated scene between you and your roommate of just like, I hate you for letting me live my dream.
And it's a musical.
We actually just never talked about it. Like, we both were very aware of what happened, and he was actually the one that told me that girl had been behind the scenes doing that, like, pulling the strings.
He just wanted, he did, like, it was just because the girl, it wasn't your roommate trying to save your feelings, and he wasn't in here just like, I don't want my roommate to hate me, so I have to, it was a woman.
If it makes you feel better, like, it was confirmed by, like, multiple people.
Okay.
Women later.
Yeah, he paid him off.
Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't get it. I just continued to do improv, continued to do stand up. It like at dive bars, and it was awesome actually. I mean, dude, this biker bar, just to give you like an idea of like how kind of sketchy it was. In 1 week, 2 different people OD'd. They survived, but like they both like it was crazy. And there's me, who like has done no drugs, who's just like
Ryan's up on stage watching people OD in the crowd, going, "We're doing a scene."
Can I get a suggestion from the crowd?
Hey,
look,
sir,
do not say yes and to heroin.
Are
Okay?
you
Like,
raising your hand to come on stage, or are you raising your hand for the Narcan? What's going on, buddy? He wants to come on stage. All right, come on. We just need you to play a seizure patient.
Yeah, right. And you're gonna be great. You're gonna be fantastic.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I essentially I go back. I finish that year. I come back next year. That girl is graduated, and I make the team.
What? Oh man!
yeah.
All those
But
years
funny
of
thing-
hating women paid off.
Yeah. Dude, this really is gonna be the podcast that cancels me. Like this is the end. It's just gonna be Ben. I got canceled by Ben, who said I hated women, which no woman's accusing me of this. It's just Ben.
Everyone's gonna start uploading TikTok videos of just like, he is the worst. Ryan Kelly, I don't even know him.
No
I have
woman
never
has
worked with him.
accused you of hating women. Look at me from the back and tell me I'm not a strong lesbian.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I get it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I made the team. We performed, but it was funny because at that time I had become way more into stand up, and so like I was picking more times with stand up, and I was starting to like perform more shows, and it was fun. It was great.
Okay,
And
so that one woman got you really.
Ben,
made
we're
you
gonna have to let go of that shit.
No,
Is
we're
that
not
okay? Like,
letting
I
go.
already have.
No.
I feel like you haven't let go.
No, of course I'm not gonna let go of this. That one woman hated you into starting stand-up comedy.
Something tells me that Ben is obsessed with hating women. Oh
What
my
would you
god!
guys do if I just
I'm
ripped
wearing
off a
shoes,
mask and it was the girl?
Dude, I just be like, ah!
It's me.
It's Kathy
Yes,
from
and
grade
Ryan.
school. But like, no, that one woman from Calvin College, Missouri, hated
Michigan.
you.
I went to
Whatever, dude. The Midwest
Yeah,
is
the
one
M
state. She hated you into doing stand-up. So
Yeah.
at the
no,
tail end of it, you have her to thank.
Oh, absolutely. Like, like every part of my life that's gone horribly wrong has all been like, that worked out better later. Like, I mean, because here's the things. I essentially I was on the team for that year. It was fun, but did more stand up. The last year I was the captain of the team because because that's how you know you're crushing it.
Ryan's like, I need some cool points. I'm running for captain of the improv team at this engineering college.
It was not. It was a liberal arts college that happened to have good engineers. That's all I'm saying.
Or
which
was
is
it
getting
Ryan's
worse.
way of saying, I'm tired of women being the captain of this improv team. I'm gonna tell them. I'm
4
gonna become the
years
captain."
of female
That
tyranny.
is so sweet that you thought she was the captain.
Oh, she wasn't?
No, she
Oh.
wasn't. She was just mean. Like that was the whole thing, and she would just bully people into doing what she wanted. It was crazy.
I just assumed because you said she had like choosing power, right?
It was essentially like
Is it like a survivor thing?
was like
where
a
it's like the group votes.
it was like a collective thing. Yeah, and it was like, and you had the right to veto people. That's what the
Oh.
problem was.
And so she
She'd be
just
like,
vetoed
"Veto."
anybody that was like, we like Ryan.
Yeah, yeah.
She's-
Wasn't
Yeah.
fun. But did that. Was the captain of the improv team. I did one of the coolest things like for my entire college career is we had a school of like 4,000 people, so it's not huge,
Okay.
not tiny, but we'd have like a thing. God, I'm gonna get made fun of for this. I can feel it coming. I can feel it.
I'm ready.
And Ben's queuing up right now. We had a thing called like a variety show called Calvin's Got Talent because it was we were making so it was like a variety show, and so I was like, here's the thing. During those in between times, like when I hadn't made the team, I actually went and I trained with Second City and I trained with Improv Olympic in Chicago.
Right.
And so, during that time, so I came back, I knew what I was doing, and I loved twosies, which is 2-person improv where you perform a certain style.
Yeah,
Ben is
for sure,
Ben
for
is
sure,
getting
for
ready
sure,
to
twosies.
explode.
Okay, twosies.
And so I was like, hey, let's perform improv for this because like we have the like if you're good enough in improv, it's not a gamble. Everybody thinks it's a gamble. It's not. Like you know what you're doing. but only one other person who was down to do it. He was my buddy Eli. He was a freshman, and so we were like, we're gonna do 2-person improv, and we're doing it
twosies for this variety show.
For 2,000 for like 1,100 people. So it was like a fourth of the school, and we're there. And we're going to do Tuesday. So we're taking the risk. And we did something called date night, which date night is you bring up a couple on stage and we ask them about their first date. We recall their first date and then we perform it for them.
Listen, I know this is kind of like an awkward, small performance and we're just doing Tuesday's improv, but I think it would be fun if instead of letting people make fun of us, we bring 2 strangers, 2 randoms from the audience up on stage, and then we actively make fun of them so that people forget that we're the ones doing it.
So we forget that we should be made fun of for what we're doing. It was awesome, and it worked, and it crushed, and it was one of those moments where it's like, good. And then
would you say that was like the moment where you were like, I can make a career out of this?
No, because I still know that improv pays no money. So I was like, accurate.
Yeah. Well, that is a motivating factor.
but it was definitely a moment where I was like, this is fantastic. It was a good moment, and I got off stage and it was cool. And then I graduated like 3 weeks later. So I was like, I didn't get to ride any of that wave of like, this worked. It was just,
bro, you're gonna sit there and tell me you couldn't ride the wave of being the best improv student in a liberal arts college with a really good engineering program? Ryan, say it ain't so. You couldn't ride that wave of being the improv team captain in a Midwest private college? No. You poor thing. Look, okay, I think what we have to do, we have to have a moment to celebrate Ryan. So on 3,
you know what? Actually, no. Let me get to the next part because I want to watch how uncomfortable Ben is gonna have to get during this.
I don't get uncomfortable, Ryan.
Let's see. So I after that I moved out to LA because I had a job waiting for me because the summer before I'd worked at Improv Olympic because I'd worked there to essentially get free classes and things like that. So that because IO was where SNL did their auditions from. And so I was like, that's what I want to do. We're going to do that. And that's why improv was the baseline, is really just helping to write. That's what I wanted it for. I'm out there and I meet this guy who was a CEO of a company that does comedy stuff. You've definitely heard of their movies. I will tell you guys which ones afterwards.
Of course, a male CEO. Of course, you're friends with a male CEO.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna get
not
bad.
A female CEO.
It's gonna get bad.
I wish it was a female CEO because I get that job as a personal assistant, and I immediately go out there and I find out that this guy is trying to
build an island.
No, he's trying to.
No, sorry, I took a guess.
He's trying to get with me in a biblical sense. Because I can't say like he's trying to screw me. Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
He had to pick the improv kids because they were most likely to say yes.
We're so weak. We're so weak. And yes, and oh my gosh.
Yes, and what else do you want to? Yes, and
that was the hardest part.
And daddy.
But, oh my gosh. Oh, gross. Well, this dude, he also ran a management company, and so
you said you wished it was a woman, Ryan.
No, because
that's not okay.
Like, I've only had women bosses that were really nice to me. That's what that's it. It's not
right.
I don't think they
We're gonna sit here.
What he's trying to tell us, Ben, is that we went through with it.
No.
He's like, and that's I did what I had to do.
Ryan's trying to convince us that he'd rather it be a woman CEO because she's like 99.9% less likely to ask to sleep with him. When instead, we all know Ryan's like, I wish it was a woman CEO so that she would ask me to sleep with her, and then I could just go on this rant about how women are the worst. Like, this is the second time in my life that a woman has ruined an opportunity for me, and it's just a common theme, I guess. Ryan,
also,
why do you hate women?
No.
This whole podcast is just us hate. We're like just feeding off of your trauma. You're like, yeah, this guy like scammed me.
Like totally like I was sexually harassed out of my first job, and Ben's like, he hates women. Like that's
I can put a spin on anything.
That's true. Well, and here's the thing. Like, I got offered, like, I was offered roles and stuff because this dude also represented me, like, owned a management company. And this is a quote directly, is like, hey, people who sleep over get roles. And I said,
No.
I guess I won't be getting any roles.
And you're like, get rolls up in a blanket because
yeah, pigs in a blanket? No. No, I actually quit that job when he put a TV remote through a TV because I wouldn't sleep with him. I said no.
I was very concerned where the TV remote was about to go while you were
I was like,
what did he do?
Yeah, where did he put it? No, so
I was just sitting here going through a wall.
Nope, through a TV. And I quit that job because it was like I obviously I can't be here.
I am so. Can I just say I'm so grateful I'm ugly. Oh, that is so crazy.
Dan, you are beautiful.
So
You're definitely. You would have made this happen.
No matter.
Yeah, I mean, also, it wasn't about my
say.
looks. I was an improviser, and the yes and thing might have played a part. I don't know.
Ryan,
but yeah,
I am sorry. I just want to say, jokes aside, I am sorry that happened to you, right? That's crazy, okay. Dude.
I mean,
that is wild.
It all worked out. It was definitely a low point in my life where I'm like, oh no. And so at the time, I'm literally, and Ben's gonna love this. I'm just doing improv because I've lost my job, and I don't have a job in LA, and I'm like essentially just hemorrhaging money, and I'm stuck.
I would make fun of you for that. That's like you and everyone else in LA.
That's so true.
They're like,
that's the reality.
Man, I lost my job. Guess I gotta do art. I am losing so much money.
I gotta do art again.
I'm running out of couches to sleep on.
I picked the only art that you can't sell, though. That was the problem. It's just like, nope, you're doomed. And so it was at that point that I eventually so I finished my training at IO, and we had a show. And so I'm doing that, and I actually get a temporary job. I worked as an accountant at Warner Brothers for actually a woman boss who was so nice. I am still thankful for her to this day.
You really gotta dig into this one, Brian. To dig, like, there's a hole that I put you in on purpose, and boy, you gotta. How much did you love her, Ryan?
Everyone above me was women, and it was the best job I've ever had to this day. It's still the best job I've ever had. It was fantastic. I loved working for Warner Brothers, and I loved being an accountant. It was awesome.
So shouldn't it be called Warner Sisters then? Jeez.
Man.
Oh my, Ryan! I can't believe you would just work for such a misogynistic and sexist company like Warner Brothers. Like, they would hire all these women and give none of them the credit. Ryan, why do you hate women?
I can't wait. I can't wait for Ben's story. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Anyway, so I did accounting for a little bit, but when the movie ends, the job ends because it was accounting for movies. And so I, again, am jobless. And during this time, I was actually prepping my 5 through the door, which is how you audition for SNL. And the Improv Olympic West was horribly mismanaged, like horribly. And so it closed with 12 days notice.
I mean, that's your
I know the CEO,
that's,
and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. It wasn't because he was a woman. It was just horribly mismanaged. It was a woman. It was, and everyone hated her because she was so terrible to everyone. But it's not a women
recurring theme. Like, once was just kind of silly. Twice is okay. We're getting there. The third time is a problem, right?
No, because here's the thing. But like, the theater closes with 12 days notice, so anyone that was prepping, and if you had a show there, you had a good solid ability to get an SNL audition, and it closed, gone, and nothing. And it moved over to Groundlings, I think, is who hosts it now. And at that point, I hadn't been training with Groundlings. I have now. I've trained with every improv school in the United States. Ben, just feel free to just cue that one up for a joke later, or you can hit it now.
Whatever you gotta do, Ryan. Hey, look, you gotta chase your dream somehow, and if that's your dream, then boy, do you still have to just keep training the same thing over and over again at every single college in America, because not one of them is gonna accept your previous trainings. They're all just gonna be like, no. You actually have to do our $200 improv program, where it's a 10-week course where we tell you how to properly say yes and.
Look, I get that improv is just Scientology repackaged. Okay, I'm not unaware, but like,
I think it'll be very funny if you get like a casting call from SNL, and this podcast is the reason that you don't get cast.
Oh my gosh.
They find this and they're like, no, Ben Brainard should be cast because he is a warrior, a fighter for women.
He is a feminist. He is a he loves women. That Ben Brainard, can't pronounce his name correctly, I think, but maybe. But that
Brainard.
Ryan Kelly, he is on the
Who
blacklist.
said nothing except for what Ben put in his mouth is just, we're getting rid of him. We're done with him.
Oh, bring me the blacklist. Put him right underneath.
Yeah.
Who's someone else that we've blacklisted? I don't know.
Just put him sandwich him right in between Louis C.K. and like, who's the guy that did, what's the guy that just got, it's Chris D'Elia. There we go. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm now out of a job. I now do not have a place to do improv. I start working at Disney because I needed a job. That's the only reason I started working at Disney. I wasn't like, because I'd never been to Disneyland before in my life.
So you're like, yeah, this would be a great place to work.
Yeah, yeah,
Somewhere
I thought
I
that.
have no experience with. Just I'll figure it
Well,
out.
actually, the funny thing was, it was like, hey, we're looking for people that have great improv experience, and I was like, I am your man. Like, this is.
Ryan's
I have
like,
done
I am trained.
10,000 hours of that stuff, and you are gonna hire me.
He just comes
You
to
are gonna know.
Disneyland with a stopwatch, shaking. Look, 10,453 hours. 10,453.
Sir.
I have been doing this since I was
I
14
need
years
to
old.
roll the
Waiting.
Spider-Man at Disneyland.
And they're like, oh man, he could. Yeah, if we give you the job, will you stop talking to us?
And that's how I got the job. And so I started working at Disney, and I kept doing stand up, and I like, yeah, there were definitely like moments, and I stopped doing improv consistently because I was just like, well, mostly like COVID and stuff like that, but yeah, just kept doing stand up. Got screwed over at a couple places that I was like, oh, this sucks. Stand up is just no, there's a dude, and it drives me crazy. Like, oh, I can tell. Well, here's the thing, because I'm sure you guys have at different points been screwed over in stand up. Where like a host, like to give you an example, there was a certain club that has a chain of them. I'm not gonna say, but they they had like an audition thing, and so if you do your 3, you're going to like they'll bring you back and you'll do 5 on Sunday. I did it on Wednesday, crushed it. The booker came up to me and was like, hey, who was a woman? She liked my stuff. I'm just saying, love her.
Yeah, you can make stuff up. We weren't there.
Yeah, right. But yeah, and so I came back that Sunday, and I went up to the host and I was like, hi, my name's Ryan. I'm on list for like to do 5. And he was like, yeah, we'll see. I go, what?
Yeah, I mean that is the common attitude, I guess.
Dude, I and here's the thing, and here's the thing, that's not even the booker. That's literally just the host. It's because it's not the booker. The booker was chill. The booker wanted to see my set. It was the host. And so, dude, I am there, and this open mic goes from 9 p.m. to midnight, and they put the people that have made it through the first audition process up from 10 to 10:30.
Yeah.
And it goes by, and I don't get called. And I go talk to him. I'm like, hey, am I going up tonight or not? And he's like, yeah, we'll see. We'll get to you eventually.
Why did he hate you? What did you do to him?
Dude, I never met this guy in my entire life, ever. This seems to be a common thing where just people, I don't know. And so it's 11:57, and he puts me up, and I get the light at 2 when I've prepped a 5-minute set. What do you do with that? You got a minute left. And I literally said, I don't think what I said was good. I said, well, this was about as fun as like a sandpaper dildo or something like that. I think that's like what I said. I think that's about. And I stepped off stage, and I've not gone back to that club since. And I don't plan on it unless they get rid of that host, because that guy drives me crazy. And I know a couple other friends that have been screwed over by him. And so that's one of those things where it's like, man, even if you think you're doing okay, and then eventually it was October 15th of 2019. When I was posting stuff because I didn't have enough time because I was working too much at Disney to like get up to clubs to do stuff, to test material. So I'd start testing material by filming it on my phone, and I'd post it to Instagram, which it would go nowhere. Right. But at least if people would laugh, I'd understand, because it was before Reels. And that's when my buddy Casey Jones texted me and said, hey man, I like your stuff on Instagram. I think it would do really well on this app called TikTok. And I was like, I've never heard of that before. I'll post one video and see how it does. And the first video got like 25,000 views. And I was like, that's the most I've ever gotten in my whole life.
Now you want to go back to that club just to show that one host, look, 25,000
You should
views.
go headline the club and then specifically ask for him to host.
No.
I've
Specifically
thought about
ask
it.
for him
I've
to
seriously-
do a guest spot, and then be like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm doing a podcast.
It was
Yes,
so.
you are.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
It was so one of those moments where I was just like, oh, but yeah, and then here we are today. you know, it worked out to say the
You
least.
can
So it was
leave.
nice.
I'll leave.
And yeah. I love the day. It's like you can go.
Just in the background, I'll leave.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was like,
That was actually a perfect ending to how my story went overall. To be honest, it's just you can leave.
So okay, you started improv at 14. We made fun of you a lot for that.
No,
Probably
younger than that.
Younger than that, like 10?
Yeah, I started like 11 or 12. Yeah.
Okay,
wow.
you wanted to leave. Some disgraced improv guy working at a coffee shop convinced you otherwise to stay started doing improv, went to college for engineering, didn't make the improv team because women, and then you went to a dive bar to do improv while bikers made fun of you, went back to school, became the captain, underpants of the improv team. Finally kicked the women off the show as a full man thing, did your variety show with another man, of course, did a whole thing where you made fun of other people during your improv thing, and then you're like, well, this is fun, I'm gonna keep doing this, moved to LA, got the total LA experience, I mean, from start to finish. Met some shifty producers, you lost your job multiple times, worked at a production company for women that you hate, and then you started doing stand-up and then got screwed over by people doing stand-up in LA. You got the full LA experience, and now you're on a podcast with just probably the worst person you've ever made friends with.
I think that summed it up perfectly, except for the hating women part, which I'm still gonna have to deny because it's 2021, and if I don't, I'm canceled tomorrow. Okay, like
if you leave this podcast, Ryan, you don't love women. That's
I'm gonna name this episode "The Good, the Dan, the Florida Man Ryan Hates Women," which is a bunch of question marks after it. Ryan hates women.
He seems so thankful for them.
That like little thumbnail that like.
Oh man! Oh, that was.
Hey
a
Dan,
fun
are you ready
story.
for your torturous session? Are you ready for?
I don't know if I want to do it.
Well, we're gonna do it anyway.
You know what, guys? My friend just came through the door. I think I have to.
You
go
shoot
and
him
talk
away.
to
So
him.
tell us your story.
Okay, so how I got into comedy. To be honest with you, it's not crazy. Definitely not as crazy
I'll
as
be
that.
honest. Ryan's wasn't that crazy either. Like, if you told
I mean-
Ryan's story
there
without
was
the two
sexual
of us
harassment.
making fun of him the whole time, it would have been like, oh yeah, you did improv, and like, yeah, okay. If you told that story to people that respected him, he'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's a pretty cool story. We're going on tour together.
Yay!
Oh my
Anyway,
Okay.
so grew up in Zimbabwe, and in Zimbabwe, their particular, I don't know, it's interesting. So I went to an all boys school,
Right.
and at an all boys school, we had like punishments for if you didn't attend particular events.
Are you going to tell us what some of those punishments are, or are you just going to let our minds wander on that one?
Okay, so
Yeah, what?
okay, yeah, so yeah, I can if you guys want to, but every time I tell Americans, it's never like funny. They always turn into like, I'm so sorry. Like it's never like normal. But I think, judging
Yeah,
from
but
how
real
Ben has
problems.
been acting about Ryan's story, I think he'll find a lot of humor in this, which is great. So a couple punishments. There's manual labor, which was every Thursday at 5 p.m. And basically what they did is the prefects of the school, remember Harry Potter, prefects would punish you through physical labor or just through physical torture. So they
Ooh,
used to
tell me
make us
more
do,
about that one.
exercise.
But I don't think you get to
well,
pick.
the torture part of it was like, it was really weird. So I was like, if like high school for us starts at 13, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, being a 13-year-old, you get in trouble a lot, obviously, or at least I did. And
Well, duh,
these prefects,
for sure.
full-grown 18-year-old men would like make us either plank, or they'd make us do the like wall squats, and they'd walk across, and they were like, if anyone collapses, we're going to make you guys run a couple kilometers or whatever, however much it was, right? Or we're gonna make you,
I'm sorry,
I don't know,
Dan,
do more.
This sounds way less like torture and a lot more just like working out.
That was what it was. But to a
Okay,
fat
yeah.
kid who's 13, it's torture.
But Dan's like, it felt like torture.
It felt like torture.
Like, I don't know, if you captured a prisoner of war and you just started making him do wall sits, I'm pretty sure that's against the Geneva Convention. So, I don't know.
I love how Dan is describing the Bhutan Death March, and Ben is like, sounds like early sports for me. Like, I don't.
I was like, yeah, I was doing that stuff at 9 years old for fun.
Anyway,
I
so
was like dragging trucks through the street because I wanted to. Ugh. I am 20 pounds.
So they made us work out essentially for a long time. Another punishment was that you got beaten. So you got to pick a stick, and the headmaster would be able to spank you, although we call it beating because that's what it really is. Beating you with a stick of your choice if you did not do the right things. So
he got to spank you with a switch, and all the 13-year-olds are like, they're beating and torturing us. I mean, like, to be fair, things you shouldn't do to children, for sure. But I just love the idea of just all these 13-year-old kids going home to their parents. They're beating us and they're torturing us, and the parents call the school and they're like, what are you doing? And they're like, we made a plank for like 30 seconds. And then we hit him with a stick once or twice. And the parents like, oh no, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ben, I think that's just
okay.
your parents that would be like, that's fine. My parents would be like, what is happening? So like, I'm
yeah, my dad would come to be like, can I do it? Like,
am I allowed to be a part of this?
like I don't know.
No.
Like my whole family, like you don't have to go back that far to be like, yeah, my mom had like to go get the switch from the yard. Like,
here's what's confusing to me about that. Why wouldn't you just pick like easily breakable sticks?
Well, here's
you know what I mean?
Deal.
Like
the smaller ones sting more. What you got to do is team up and grab a whole branch. You get a whole tree branch and you lug that back, and you're just like, have fun trying to swing that.
Yeah. That is the exact logic. Okay, that was the exact logic back then, because what they did on the
you
thin
can tell
sticks
Ryan had very loving parents.
They were so nice. I still love them.
I just
one
also
time
love
my
the
dad
how
hugged me too hard.
Oh my gosh.
So you got to pick between a cricket bat.
What?
Yeah,
but there's no holes.
It was a little.
aerodynamics.
There's a mini cricket bat. There was a thick cane, which was always like my go-to, but they never spanked me with it, even though I chose it. Every time I was like, I want the cane. They were like, that's too hard to swing. You're gonna get this thin one. And they always put rubber at the end of the thin sticks, so they like flopped and did that, which is also weird because
think. Like, just at any point in your life, have you thought the fact that you wanted to get spanked by a cane has attributed to anything in your life now?
Oh, it's fully the reason I'm gay.
Okay, yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure.
For me, it's like an authority thing. I just am really into authority. I'm like,
Dan's like, I just want, at some point in my life, I want just someone to swing their big cane at me. Like,
I tell you what, I wasn't expecting to come out of this podcast learning that Dan was a sub. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I was expecting.
No, people don't assume that about me a lot, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Well, you know, if it ever comes down to it, then just send this clip of the podcast before every first date.
Every Tinder date, I'm just gonna send a link to this exact video and be like, watch all of this, study it, and make sure you know what I like.
Well, what's going to be weird is that they're going to be like, okay, so we know that Dan is super into like getting hit. We know that Ryan hates women. So this has just been a weird
and Ben just seems like a delight.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We're almost there. We're about to deal with that. So, anyway, so what happened is that they had compulsory supports, is what we called it. And so you had to go to particular school events and go out and support. And if you didn't, you got those punishments. So the first year I went to this public speaking thing, and I was like, I hate being in the audience for this. Also, I could do a way better job of like giving a speech than these people, right? It was just like, just because everyone's speech was all like, what is the meaning of life? And what, you know, like all this like
in
very
the crowd
deep
like,
stuff.
man, I wish I got beat instead of this. Like, I'd rather...
You joke, but that was like my exact thought process. I was just like, man, like this is like so boring. No one's doing anything interesting with stuff. I wish I could get up on stage and just like do like a funny speech, because that would be like, that would kill, especially
How
amongst
old
this
were you
audience.
at this point?
I'm 13 at this
13.
point. Well,
Okay.
12 technically. So,
So
yeah.
you started comedy because you're just like, I'm better than them.
No, it was just like being in an audience with all these other bored people. Like, I wish it wasn't so boring. I can do this. I can do better than this. And so basically from that point on, every single year I started like basically just applying to go into the public speaking competition. Would always get in, but always lost for some reason. I was always like second place, third place. Like I never did well, right? Like it was funny, but people are like, it's so silly. He's so silly.
They don't
the
take,
meaning of life guy was a lot better.
They don't take silly speeches seriously.
Yeah. Weird how that works. And so I was basically like, okay, well, for this last year, my last year of high school, I want to do a speech about hating school and my entire career. So I did that. Like,
so I did that.
I basically the whole speech was like, you're gonna remember who the hell I am. Like, you're gonna remember me, and I'm gonna make sure you remember me.
Was that also the first moment you found out you were gay? You're just like, do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? No,
you better remember.
We've established that the moment I knew I was gay was when I got beaten with the cane.
Right. This is a few weeks later.
So this was just like. Anyway, so that was like a moment, and then what ended up happening, I guess, was that carried on. I became a Mormon missionary, and
because you
the whole
hated
time
yourself at this point. I hate my career. I hate my school. I might as well hate myself. To Utah.
We said that I knew I was gay before. I really didn't, I guess, because I just literally was like, I'm gonna spend 2 years with another man, always around me, 24/7. And I'm gonna have no issues. It was just weird, dude. Like, so eventually I just started using humor to kind of get through the trauma of it all. Because it's people just slamming doors in your face all day, being like, no. Also, I need to go in depth on that. People used to sick their dogs on us. Like,
what?
I understand not wanting Jesus and soliciting. But a dog biting you? I don't think is...
No, I get it. But if you had...
Little did they know into that. I was like...
Dan, if you had just taken the torture seriously in high school, you'd be able to outrun the dog. So... True, I mean, really, who's the one that's been... Your high school is preparing you for Mormonism.
Dan, where were you going door to door? Like where was you?
I was in Vancouver, Canada.
Okay. The Canadians were mean? Oh my God.
It was wild. Yeah, you've messed up when Canadians are like angry at you. It was very funny because we had all the BC, so I got to go up north. It was really fun. Like, it was like a fun experience. Probably would have been more fun if I wasn't like doing what I was doing. But yeah, so basically went out there, started like, and then it became like at the door talking to people. I was like, oh, I should make these people laugh, because that's going to be a lot easier than trying to like just go straight into Jesus with them. And so that's how I did it for a little while. I was like, I'll just make people laugh and we'll see how it goes. And then suddenly
give me one of your knock jokes.
I don't even remember them. I don't
literally.
You were like, knock. They were like,
I don't know.
There?
I'd always like find something about their house and just be like,
yeah, you make fun of them. That's
the goal was like to, which is kind of creepy when you think about it. Like, I was like, let me just check out. Oh, this is the life you live. Like, judge them for it. I don't know. It was probably a really bad technique.
We do that. Yeah.
Well.
Oh no.
This is a weird. Maybe this is too much information, because obviously this Mormon missionaries are just trying to get into doors. But a way that like people used to like a way that we got into people's houses was that we were like, can we just like use your bathroom? Can one of us just use your bathroom so that we can like go? And then we'd start talking about Jesus while the other person was in the bathroom, and then the other person would take the. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Is it
that's a crime?
Isn't that crazy? So the next time Mormons ask you to use their bathroom, say no.
No, of course. I got some bushes, dude. You can check those out.
I don't like them anyway.
Come in. Who are you? And if the other person started talking to me about Jesus, I would have closed the door on him. And I was like,
probably already in your house, Ben.
One of them's in, but the other one's not getting. Like,
You're allowed one use of the bathroom.
yeah,
Take
I
it.
didn't say you could
Yeah.
talk to me while you use it. Like,
And well, again, we're dealing with Canadians, not Floridians, Ben. I know.
True.
It's a
true.
different demographic here, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so started using humor, and then I was like, I'll just go try out comedy. Ended up going to BYU, the Mormon school, and being like, let's check this out.
Mhm.
Did an open mic night, and I did okay. Like I was like, okay, I could come back and do this. And then eventually what ended up happening was that over time I just kept going to the same club at the university,
Uh-huh.
and slowly but surely, basically the reason I got into social media was like, I want people to come to my shows. So I'll just start translating my jokes into like video form.
Right.
And that's how everything translated into TikTok, was just like, I was like, I'm just going to make all the jokes that I don't make at the show on my videos, and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, basically my entire story of why I got into comedy was like, I thought I was funny, so I did it. And now I'm here.
And he proved himself right.
That's
Like,
most people that start comedy, though. Like, they're all just like,
Yeah.
I was the funniest one in my friend group.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that most people's wasn't guy at a coffee shop convinced your parents to convince you to continue to do improv just so you'd be less sad? Is that not
No.
what? Ah.
Ryan, I'm sorry, but you just got, hoodwinked, my guy.
Being hoodwinked. Yeah, no, I was never the funniest guy in any room. So this is
Well, that's
just...
why you didn't make the improv team. That and women.
That was
Oh.
crushing. That was
Yeah.
savage. And and hey, you know what's funny? I'm gonna laugh right now, but I'm gonna cry later.
You just cuddle with your squishmallows in the background there. They'll take care of you.
Yeah, they will.
Cute. But yeah, basically that ended up happening, and then got big in the Mormon community.
Big and Mormon. Just got big and Mormon.
Got big and Mormon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then obviously realized I was gay, and realized that I needed to make some changes in my life, and I did, and now I'm here. So that's
Okay.
my comedy journey.
Yeah, you were a kid in high school going, this would be better if it was funny. And then you became a Mormon in Utah going, this would be better if it was funny. And then you were just like, let me just be funny. Why don't I just...
And that was I think it also helped me, like, to be honest with you, I think the comedy community helped me a lot with like coming out too.
Yeah.
Like it was through talking to them that it was like, oh, okay, so it's not that weird that it's like I don't know, you find everything to be funny, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
you
being
were-
gay is kind of an interesting scenario.
You
I
were
should
in the
probably come
comedy
out at some
community, and they were like, you're gay, but it's better if it's funny. And you're like, oh, I relate to that. Yeah.
I did that before. I did that twice before. Yeah.
Let's go for the 3P.
But anyway,
All right.
so
All right, Ben.
now it's time for you, Ben. Are
I
you
just
ready?
relentlessly make fun of you guys during story time, just so that you guys can just gear up and just give me the most hateful things you can.
It's true, because me and Dan are normally, I feel like, very like peaceful, passable people, and then like Ben just grinds at us the whole time. We're like,
No, we're like,
let's
come on,
do
Ben.
this.
Share your story, Ben.
I'm a delight. And I wouldn't say any of these things if I didn't actually know that you guys were okay with it in real life.
No, that's 100% true.
So,
Very true.
all right, so my story, right? I started improv at a young age, maybe around 10 or so, just doing improv in dive bars for bikers mostly, while attending an engineering college.
I just want to pause real quick. You were roasting Ryan for wanting to start improv in a coffee shop,
Right.
and you were in a biker bar.
No, he
Doing
didn't start in
improv
a
in-
coffee shop. He started in a biker bar.
Wait, did you start in a biker bar too? Did I miss that?
No, he's screwing with me. He's just retelling my story. Man, what did you miss? It's just my story.
I was like, wait, this sounds.
I
oddly
was like, and
familiar.
I was letting him go with it just because I was gonna wait and see if he added any of your stuff, and he wasn't. So I was like,
I would have if Dan didn't stop me.
I was
Okay.
ready to go.
To be fair, I started improv comedy at 18 years old in Daytona Beach doing improv for bikers while attending an engineering school as an engineering student.
Wow.
Wait, for real?
That's
Wait, are you
real.
screwing with me?
Yeah.
No, you suck too.
No, but I was good at it. It was a thing.
Oh, that's yeah.
No.
I was like, you're my type of loser. Welcome.
No. So like whenever people really ask, and I don't have a whole lot of time to describe it, I give them the nutshell, which is I was an engineering student in Daytona Beach. I got bored, dropped out, joined the army, moved to Orlando, and started doing stand-up comedy.
Wow.
Which
we don't have a lot to work with there. Can we get the
Okay.
longer version?
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say.
So I was living in Daytona Beach at the time. I born and raised in Daytona Beach. At some point, my dad moved out of the house. I moved out of the house. My mom moved out of the house. I moved back into the house. My brother moved out of the house. I was living by myself in a house in Daytona Beach, paying all the bills. There's a whole lot of stuff. That's a story for a different day. We do not
that's just
have
a fun.
time.
That's just a fun, like, you know the game with like, where's the ball, like that in the cups, like that's what that is. Like,
I even left out a couple of so I moved out, my dad moved back in, my dad moved out, I moved back in, I moved back out, my mom moved back out, I moved back in, my dad moved back in, I moved back out, my dad moved back out, my brother moved back out, I moved back in, my dad moved back in, my brother moved back in, I left.
What?
I'm scared to ask you to elaborate on that. 'Cause
We
that
will,
just
but
sounds like
not
too
for
much
this
time.
podcast.
Yeah, let's do childhood stories next week. Like this is just.
Oh man,
my
that's gonna
God.
take like an hour for just mine. Like, just that one section that I told you about. That was 4 years. That was about 4 years. So we'll pick up. This is right after high school. I'm living alone in my house. I'm working at the YMCA as a child care counselor / bus driver. Or was this when I was a Papa John's delivery boy? It could have been both. I was working and going to college. I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is a top 5 in the country for undergraduate engineering. There's only 6,000 students at this college, so it's a small college.
Okay.
Man, he flexed on me pretty hard there with the whole engineering thing.
I was
Dang,
studying
man.
mechanical engineering. I was double minoring in physics and computer-aided design and manufacturing, and I enjoyed it. It was really easy to me. Numbers come really easy to me. Don't ask me to read a book. I can't. But I can I can find the density dispersion of a fourth-dimensional object which doesn't exist, but I can find it. Tell me to read a book, and I will not. Like, that's kind of where my brain is like, yes, but no.
I love how if Ben had asked me right now, like earlier in this podcast, hey Ryan, do you think I'm good at numbers? I would have got yes. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I get it. Like the way that you did that, the way your eyes were moving, I was like, he's that meme right now. Like he's
So I'm going for engineering and all this. I'm working and I'm paying all the bills. And the thing about going to a college in Daytona Beach is that there's several weeks during the year where you cannot go to school because there's too much traffic. My school is right around the corner from the Daytona 500, the International Speedway. So we had race week, the whole week leading up to the 500, and then the couple of days after that. And we also had different weeks. We had like the Rolex 400, we had like derbies there, we had like all sorts of races at the 500. So anytime there was a race there, that whole week was just congestion. You couldn't go anywhere. We also had Bike Week, we had Biketoberfest, we were a spring break destination, we had Jeep Beach Week, we had Truck Week. Like we had anything to make the tourists happy, which was just anything that made the locals mad. And so there were like a few weeks during the school year where like students just wouldn't be there because those are the students that lived off campus and just couldn't make it to school. I was one of them. I got stuck in traffic. It was Bike Week, I'm pretty sure. It was either Bike Week or Race Week or both. Sometimes they happen at the same time. And while I'm on my way to school, I get a call from an Army recruiter that's like, hey, I found your old ASVAB scores, which a thing that I was forced to take in high school by my woodshop teacher. And he was like, you scored.
That's got so many questions. Wait, what do you mean the woodshop teacher was like, you're not leaving this class without taking it? That's illegal. Like, that's not a test they have to take.
That's right. Yeah, you got that.
Okay, just making sure. Carry on. I got it.
So my woodshop teacher was like, there's nobody from this school that's going to go to an Ivy League. All of you are taking the ASVAB. And then we had one kid make it to Cornell, so we stopped calling him by his first name. We just called him Cornell.
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
So I scored really good on it. I scored a 97 out of 99 on the ASVAB. It's
What? Do you mind if I ask? I don't know what that is.
It's
Is that
the
like an
Armed
aptitude test or something?
Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. It's just like a bunch of very basic questions in different groups, and the military looks at that score and goes, "Oh, you scored high in this. You can do this job."
Yeah. Okay.
So I scored high enough to do any job in any branch.
Yeah, because just to clarify, the at the minimum ASVAB for say like the Navy is 35.
That's correct.
And Ben got a 97. So like this is and out of 90. Hold on, we're pulling this up. This is just too much fun. The highest. Oh my gosh, the Coast Guard is the highest for requiring for ASVAB scores, and that is 36. And I'm not saying so like Ben.
Yeah, you got
Ben,
it.
Ben, you could have
Whoa.
run the Air Force. You could have run whatever you wanted.
So
like that's
the more
No wonder they
important,
wanted you.
the more important number you have to look up is the GT score.
okay.
GT score.
So if you look up the GT score, the general technical number. So GT scores, I'm not exactly sure how they're graded, but each job in the military has a certain GT score that you have
you, by the
to
way.
get.
Word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, and arithmetic reasoning. Those are the three things that are added.
Right. So GT is the one that they look at the most. Every job in the military, you have to have an acquired GT score to do that job. I scored a 136 on my GT.
Whoa.
Which was like I could do any job. That was like 20 or 30 points higher than like the highest job or something.
Yeah.
So I could do whatever I want.
A good score is 80 to 110.
Yeah.
All right, there it is.
So I scored a 136 on that. So this guy was just like, "Hey, your score is about to expire. Do you just want to come in and talk?" And I was like, "Well, I'm stuck in traffic. I can't make it to school right now. Sure, why not?" And he was like, "Wait, what? You're okay? Yeah, for sure." And then I turned and I was like right there. I was like pretty much at the recruiting office already. So I went in, sat down, talked to the guy. He told me about this thing called the Army Reserve's Split Ops program, which basically meant I could go to basic training during the summer, come back, do winter and spring semester, do the rest of my training the following summer, and then I'm in, and then they'll pay me to go to school, they'll pay me for all this stuff, and then I don't have to miss out on any school. And I was like, that sounds great. Gave me a list of jobs I could do as a Split Ops Army Reservist, which was only like 30 jobs. I narrowed it down to the ones that sounded the most fun for me, and I eventually picked truck driver.
Hold on. What were the other jobs if truck driver was the most fun for you? Also, define fun. Like, were you monster truck racing them, or what's going on?
No.
I just like picking things up. What do you like? I like moving things. That's what I do.
I like the ones with the hooks on them, and you just put the tonka, you know.
I gotta be honest, that actually does something. If I could hook other cars and drag them with
That's
me,
exactly,
that sounds awesome.
We could have done that.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what you. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, carry on.
No wonder you're in comedy.
So we would have things called flat racks, which was just like just imagine like you know, an 18-wheeler, the back of it, but smaller and just like an iron rectangle, and you could drive like a Humvee onto it, strap the Humvee down, and then use the truck that I drove to hook the flat rack, pick it up, and then put it on the back of the truck. And so we would be driving just loads of stuff. Like, if you needed something, we would deliver it. We would deliver everything. We would deliver tents, food, weapons,
So Ben,
vehicles.
What you're saying is that Papa John's delivery job really stuck with you. You're like, I will deliver anything.
You know, at one point, someone tipped me in boobs, and I was like, I'm going to keep driving forever.
And that was the moment Ben knew he loved women. He cared about me.
See, this
He
is
was
the
a feminist.
difference, Ryan. Not once have I said during my story that I love women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I love how Ben's thing was just like, I want to see naked women, and he's labeled as a feminist hero, but I said this one girl hated me, and I'm the villain.
no, here's the deal, right? Look, all right, I didn't go to the house expecting or asking for boobs. They were presented to me from the woman was like, I would like you to have these, at which point you have to support the decision.
You know what's weird?
I don't know if you do.
That same thing happened to me as a missionary. Yeah. I'm not even joking. Yeah.
Wow, you were like, hey, would you like to hear you about Jesus? And then she was like, have you heard about the reverse? Yeah. You want to come over and see corruption? Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Man, yeah, you thought you were testing her. She was testing you. Beautiful. And turns out she was going to fail 100%.
Yeah, no matter what the reason for knocking on her door was, that wasn't going to work on you.
Yeah.
It was wild.
So
God put me there.
I eventually agreed on truck driver, mostly because it had real world like transition. Like that's how I got my bus license, just by signing some paperwork. Like when the Army approved me to drive the biggest things they had, I took one test and then I got a passenger Class A license. I could drive like the trams at Disney World. I could drive school buses. I could drive anything. I could just go do whatever.
I just think it's funny that you think you need a license to drive the trams at Disney World.
No, you do.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
so
they don't
at Disney World,
think...
they have trams that will pick you up in the parking lot, drive you to the front of the park. And it's the only job in the world that I know of that requires a Class A passenger endorsement license.
Interesting. When you said trams, I thought you meant the things that are like the
not the
ones that are
monorail.
on top of. Yeah, I thought you meant the monorail. I was like, homie, how are you gonna crash that?
No.
It's on a rail. Like that's. I'd be more impressed if you did mess that up.
I know how.
Right.
It breaks all the time.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So, I signed up for that. I got a $15,000 signing bonus for doing that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now y'all aren't make fun of me for it, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. I got the truck with the
what
hook
you're
and
saying is that
$15,000.
You're capitalist is what you're saying.
I sold out, yeah. I was 19 years old, and I was like, I want truck. And, and the Army was like,
Ben
yeah.
was looking up at 19 and like, yeah, I want truck.
Truck.
And the Army was like, yeah, we'll pay you for that. Sure, yeah. So at this point, I think I had also seen like some advertisement for an indie theater in Daytona Beach that had improv shows every Tuesday night. And I was like, that looks fun. There's not much else to do here, so let's go check out a show. I invited a friend. We went and watched a show. It was a good time. Saw another one, asked one of the guys after the show, I was like, hey, how would someone get involved, like, doing this? And he was like, bro, this is Daytona Beach. There's 4 of us. Just come. And so I came like an hour before showtime every week for like a few months and practiced with them. And like I watched some like how to improv with Wayne Brady on YouTube. And that's how I learned improv for free. And then I just got to work with these guys for like 2 years from 18 to 20. But while I'm
devastated that you learned improv for free, by the way. Just carry on. But
yeah,
I just wanna.
The Wayne Brady YouTube tutorial is still free on YouTube, by the way.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, you could just do that. So while I'm at college, at one point, I decided that engineering is not what I wanted to do. I got bored, so I dropped out. I fast-tracked my training with the Army, finished that up. My grandpa sold the house that I was living in Daytona Beach, so I moved into my aunt's house in Orlando. And for a while, I was like, I'm actually just going to go active duty military. I'm going to sign some paperwork, get that process started, and bounce. And I started the process, but every paperwork process in the Army takes months. Like 6 to 8 months is like on the fast end. So while I'm living in Orlando waiting for that paperwork to go through, I tried to do improv when I moved here, but every single improv place that I found was like, no, you have to take our class. It's $200. And I was like, I've been doing this for 2 years. And they're like, no, but you haven't. Not with us. Like, we understand that you
have to pay us money.
Yeah. So they were like, you can't. And I was like, what if I just want to do this for fun? And they were like, we don't do this for fun.
We're trying to get our 10,000 hours. That's not fun.
Look, if you're not here with a stopwatch every single session, then you're not making the team. And so I was like, okay, improv, that's fine, whatever. And as I was driving, I saw a sign on a coffee shop that was like, hey, stand-up comedy every Friday and Saturday night, 8 p.m. And I was like, that sounds fun. Brought a friend out, watched stand-up, asked one of the people how I would get involved in that. I was like, is there like a list? Is there a website? They had a website run by a sexual predator that we didn't know until later. He's gone now.
Oh,
He's
man,
not
we
in the
have
scene.
similar
We have
stories.
Yeah, we
Weird.
have excommunicated him, and he did get me into a lot of shows, but not in the same like Ryan way. He just wasn't.
Oh, that sounds like something you legally have to say. Oh man.
No. He just wasn't.
He didn't put a
intimidated.
TV remote in a TV, is what he's trying to say.
No, he was one of those like big tough like masculine almost alpha guys, and he just wasn't intimidated by me because I was small. So he was just like, no, he's not gonna. So he would just care. He wouldn't bring any other dude on the road because he was afraid that the dude would like take women from him. But he wasn't scared of me for that, which fair point. But like.
That's the most terrible sentence I've heard in the entire podcast this far today.
That's the most terrible sentence.
Yeah,
Dylan got beat and tortured in high school, and that is the worst.
No, I mean just that that he was just a predator, and he was like, Ben is like a chihuahua I'll bring with me as bait, I guess. Like he's so soft,
basically.
Like,
yeah. But we didn't know about that until he literally posted on Facebook and said, like, these are the things that I have done. And we were like, oh my God, like, go away forever.
Hold on. Well, hold on. Wait, why do you have a coming to Jesus moment? What happened there? Like,
he was trying to
like,
white knight.
Oh.
He was kind of like, look, I'm better now. And we were all
so
like,
he outwoke himself.
Ugh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and we were all like,
what a horrible,
you were literally
human.
just doing this stuff last week, bud. Like, you haven't changed at all.
Wow.
So he got excommunicated from the Orlando comedy scene.
Bye.
I had started doing stand-up at that point. The first time I ever did stand-up was March 9th, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 years tomorrow.
4 years tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
At a place called the Other Bar in downtown Orlando. I wasn't supposed to go up that night. I guess it was like a sign up this week to go up next week kind of thing, but some people had dropped off, so the guy was like, hey, do you want to go up? I went up in basketball shorts and flip-flops, did 5 minutes of comedy that was trash. I didn't remember any of it until afterward one guy was like, hey, that was decent. And I was like, thank you. It was my first time. And he's like, I couldn't tell. And like now looking back on him, like that dude was lying to me. But
I couldn't tell.
I'm very thankful that he lied to me because I kept doing it after that.
Yeah.
So that's the stand-up story. TikTok was just kind of like last year. Someone who does like social media marketing was just like, you have to download TikTok. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I'll do it. So I downloaded TikTok. It started out just dumb jokes about the army. And then when quarantine started for me, which was like March 13th or something, I think, in Florida, I decided to do a full sketch every single day for the entirety of quarantine, thinking that it would only be like 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was just throwing every single idea I had at the wall. Sometimes
Yeah.
I was just like lip syncing to John Mulaney bits. Sometimes I was just doing like dumb sketch ideas that I had about this or that. It wasn't until like the 13th day that I posted the first like table sketch where everyone was making fun of Florida, and that blew up. And I was like, I guess I'm just gonna do another one of these, and then that one blew up, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna do this forever for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
No, this is it. This is me now.
This is who I am.
And
I am the States.
here we are.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna be
wild.
real. It is interesting to see how thematically you guys are pretty similar, though. Like there's certain themes that seem
Yeah.
to match up quite.
Yeah, I was curious why Ben had all these jokes prepped, and now I realized he just used the ones he'd normally use on himself and was like, "I got this." Like,
Oh
He
yeah,
lived it.
the more you spoke, the more I was like, oh my god, I've heard this story before.
I've heard this.
And I felt like Tigger. I was like, I recognize you. I've bounced you before.
I'm not sure. We have bounced in the same lanes. Like it's,
We are the same. We have the same, villain story.
We do. So should we should, since that is our story time, should we pop into silly question?
We should.
We should.
Silly
Time for silly questions. Wait, hold on.
I know. Yeah.
Before I just want I'm just gonna people listening to the podcast. Who had the best coming of age story?
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave it in the comments. Who had the best coming of age story? And just and bonus points. Who had the best commentary on the coming of age stories? It was me. Vote me.
Who roasted
I
Ryan the hardest? Yeah.
Who had no filter and did not care about anyone's feelings the most? It was Ben.
It was like, I might hurt people, but it's also going to be funny. Bet.
Yeah, this is me. Sorry.
It was so perfect.
Silly question time.
What rap artist do you think would make it? Who would do the best like drag show?
I have 3 answers for this.
What?
Yes.
I
Go.
got only one. Yeah.
Go.
Who's your
Ben.
one?
My one, oh, it's Drake for sure. And the reason
Really?
why is because I think he's got soft boy energy, and I feel like that would translate really well. Like it'd be easy to make him look more feminine.
Oh,
And
no,
so I think
you
that,
don't
like-
need soft boy energy to be a drag queen. You need
you need-
power feminist moves.
Yes.
Oh, no, don't get
He
me wrong.
would
Like I'm saying, like
cry on
You
stage.
hate drag queens.
Oh my no! Ryan, look at me. Look me in the camera right now. Look me in the camera.
You have a problem.
Why do you hate drag queens? Why do you hate women?
I was gonna be like, why do you hate women or men that are dressing like women for a show? Why do you hate that? I don't know. I just feel like here's the thing. Like you do get a lot of powerhouse performances. I feel like Drake would give a really emotional performance. That's all I'm saying.
That
I feel
makes
like
it. I think he would also. He is comedic, so I think he would be really good at the comedy part.
Okay.
Less. I don't see it in the like. I don't see it in the dragness of it.
The
but I understand what you're
flamboyance
saying.
of-
Yes. Yeah. I don't think he'd be flamboyant, but he'd definitely be good. He'd be like a good like Bob, the drag queen. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yes.
but, yeah.
Yes, I do.
He'd do a really good Bob. I feel like. That'd be
Okay,
great.
Drake because he's a soft boy. Dan, do you have one?
I have 3 answers.
You have
that's
3?
why.
Okay, one
I
at a
have
time.
3.
I'll-
Okay, so
You're first.
Lil Uzi Vert,
Okay,
Just
didn't
'cause
think
he's-
about that one.
very extra. Post Malone, just because
Oh.
I'd really want to. I think he'd do a really good job of
I do
being not
too.
again. Maybe it's just comedic,
I think,
and then
yeah.
Wiz Khalifa, and it's mainly just because I want to see Wiz Khalifa in a wig. That's all. Those
I'll
are my
just
suggestions,
Photoshop
right?
that for you, Dan. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think about Post Malone. That's a good one. I don't
Yeah.
think he cracks my top 3 though. So the person in rap that I think would be the best at drag,
Yep.
Lil Nas X.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
yeah.
It's Lil Nas X.
Okay.
He would go all out. It would be funny. And it would just be some random, like, he would get Billy Ray Cyrus to come out and do the country Old Town Road song that he would then dance to in full drag.
Plus, he's done drag like multiple
Multiple
the big
times.
titty.
He's like,
Love it.
there's only like a handful of people in the rap community that are that comfortable with themselves that they would legit put on a good drag performance, and he is hands down the top.
Yeah,
He'd crush it.
He'd give it his. Yeah, it's true. He would give it his all. Yeah.
The person I would pay the most money to see do a drag show. DMX.
Please, dude.
I I want him to come out on stage in full drag and just start barking at people. Like he would just like he would walk out on stage growling, and then the beat would drop, and then he was like.
Oh my god.
And
yes, queen, get it, queen.
Queen gonna give it to you. Oh my god.
And number 3, the person I think I would see the most times doing a drag show is Kanye West. Because I would not know what to expect, and neither would he every single time. Like, are we gonna get really emotional Kanye? Or are we gonna get super over-the-top artist Kanye? Which show are we about to get? Is this gonna be sloppy and fun? Or is this gonna be immaculate? I don't know. But it's gonna be
I'm here to
different
see it.
every time.
Is this gonna be artful, or is this just gonna be all that came to mind was like, wearing this prosthetic ass makes me think of my ex-wife, Kim. And just like, I don't know.
And he drops
It'd be
the
very
mic.
interesting.
He's like, I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna let you finish. But Kanye West about to have the best drag show of all time. And then drops the mic and then just...
That's the truth. It would be the best drag show of all time.
Wearing a Taylor Swift outfit. And he would just...
He does a full lip sync to like all the new Fearless songs that she's re-recording.
So yeah, maybe I put a little too much thought into this question.
That's great. I love
Those
it.
are my 3.
DMX as well. Oh my gosh, that's gold. Wow.
DMX is cool. Yeah, that's chef's kiss.
We're gonna hop into the news. What news in the flash? We need to start here. Dan, as the token royal familyist, what is going on, my dude? Is Oprah the new queen?
So yes, she is. Oprah and Tyler Perry have officially overthrown the British monarchy as we know it. And it's interesting.
I saw someone tweet the other day that was like the last time. So this is gonna be twice that we've toppled the UK just by spilling tea.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It's more interesting. I think it's interesting that people are so angry at Harry and Meghan for going so deep into their personal lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you guys seen that on like Twitter? Like, everyone's like super mad about it.
It's
also like they were talking to Oprah. Like, no one would be able to withhold information with Oprah there. I would also be word vomiting if I was in front of
your
Oprah.
soul. She knows when you're lying. She is the Santa Claus of interviewers.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
She knows
and there's so many
when
people that are
you've
angry
been
about
bad or good, so tell her everything.
It's also interesting that the Conservatives are so angry about it, because it's like, you'd think that they'd be like, yeah, topple the British monarchy.
Yeah, we've done it once and we'll do it again. Come at us, Britain, they're ours now. They're
defending them.
I imagine just like if conservatives were to be on Twitter, like defending Harry and Meghan and like bashing the UK, they do it in like some Hulk Hogan, personas, like, get off of them, brother. They're on our soil now. And like that's all they don't actually care about anything that's actually been said. They're just like, we will fight you, brother. Like, this is America. Look at me here, brother. If you come here on a Sunday, we will destroy the monarchy not once, not twice, but 3 times in the ring.
Well, my question is like, how long was the interview? Because I haven't seen it. Because Who has that time? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
a
who
2-hour
has
interview
the
or something?
time to watch that
I just.
interview? I didn't watch it either. I don't have the time. Dan?
I'm gay and I didn't watch the interview, so I don't know what to tell you. I've just seen snippets, just memes.
Yep, just
Sweet
me.
remains.
The one meme where it's like, Megan's like, I don't want to say who talked about this, and Oprah's like, I respect that. Harry, who said it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's interesting. It's just a bit wild. There's accusations of racism. There's accusations of being completely cut off. Shout out to Princess Diana for supporting her son even in death.
Yes, Queen, Princess.
Yes, Queen, our only Queen. But yeah, so I think it's just a weird story, and yeah, down with the British monarchy.
Which prince right now is the one that looks like death incarnate? Prince Philip.
Oh yeah, that's the Queen's husband. Yeah, he's older than like most land.
Okay, Google image search him really quick, and then tell me why they're concerned about what Meghan Markle's baby will look like, but nobody seems concerned about Prince Philip looking like that just every day.
Prince Philip? Oh.
He looks like a Horcrux. The man said, I don't have bags under my eyes, I have bags for eyes.
Oh
His skin is purple,
gosh.
and they were worried about the baby being black?
This is insane, dude. He looks diseased. He looks
just diseased.
His eyebrows alone, dude.
Yeah,
what the heck?
He looks diseased, but apparently the royal family is like, oh, at least he's white.
Is this the Queen's husband?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Queen's husband.
That's the Queen's husband.
She can do.
Yeah.
So
Imagine
much
getting
better.
in bed. Yeah. No wonder she wants to stay as queen. She's like, I need to have a say in everything I do because this guy comes to sleep with me every single night.
So yeah, basically we
That's
want to
wild,
destroy
man.
the UK monarchy for being racist towards the sweetest peach on the planet, Meghan Markle, and new American citizen, Mr. Harry Markle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he take her name? I don't know. Is that a thing?
I don't think they have last names. So,
The Windsors. It's the Windsors.
Well, not anymore.
Am I wrong?
So, if you're right, I don't want you to be. So, I think Harry should be a Markle, like that, and that just to attach himself. This is not Prince.
This is where you're
anymore.
at now.
This is Mr. Harry Markle.
Hello, I'm Mr. Harry Markle.
This
That
is
actually sounds
Mrs.
pretty awesome.
And Mr. Meghan and Harry Markle. Last thoughts on the British monarchy? Going once, going twice, sold.
Should we talk about Burger King?
Yes. Burger King UK
Good
has tweeted on International Women's Day, and I quote, "Women belong in the kitchen," end quote. That's the tweet.
Okay. Now, quick thing to say that apparently afterwards they tweeted like a response to themselves being like, women aren't chefs as much as they should be, but they led with a solo tweet that just says exactly what Ben just said.
And
Like,
nobody stopped them.
No
How
one checked
many
that.
pairs of eyes saw this tweet and were like, "Yeah, run it."
well, and also
On-
like, it,
And on International Women's Day, they were like, "This is a fantastic media idea for
And
Well,
us."
then
essentially they were
started
like, let's-
getting backlash, and they started tweeting back like, "No, we stand by it. Women are
Well, 'cause
not
here's
in
the
the
thing.
kitchen."
they were essentially trying to say like women need, because that was their whole idea. Their plan was to have a tweet that's like it was supposed to essentially substitute themselves, or I don't know how Twitter works. It seems like a bastion of hatred, so I just avoid it. But
It's not wrong.
yeah, I know. But apparently they were like tweeting after themselves to be like, these are the statistics on things, but like, guys, put that in the original
Yeah.
tweet. Like they were
Yes.
like, we're gonna do a sketchy thing to like get people interested, and it's like, no
The only
one's gonna
people
read
that
your.
got interested are Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Just
who is
a
that?
gremlin of a human being.
Yes.
If you've
I
ever
did too.
heard someone give a really bad take, that's Charlie Kirk every time he opens his mouth.
Just picture a young Prince Philip. That's what we're
Oh
dealing
no.
with.
and he's like, yeah, I love Burger King now. They hate women, and so do I. Ryan, I'm surprised you're defending them.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's funny that like I'm looking at their whole idea, like their whole premise is flawed from the get-go, but it's like, yeah, we're gonna say things about women, but we're gonna lead with the worst thing that you could imagine, like, because that's the whole story. Because if it was just that, but it's like funny to see like even digging deeper, it's still bad. It's still bad.
I just don't get what they were trying to do. Like, I can't tell if they're trying to be like Wendy's and like edgy, you know, like
that's exactly what they were trying to do.
We're gonna do this whole thing. It just is such a poor decision and very bold of them to think that they can make commentary on food and what needs to happen with the food process.
Final thoughts on Burger King? Going once,
nope.
Going twice, moving on. Today in an interview with OAN, Papa John Schnatter, former CEO of Papa John's, said he's been working with his team for the past 20 months to get rid of the N-word from his vocabulary. Already insane.
You know he gave himself like an AA token for that. He's like, guys, I've done it for 20 months now. I'm done. Guys, it's great.
He didn't say that he
20 months
said
sober.
it.
I haven't been using it.
He didn't say that.
Well, that's what he said. He said I've been working on it.
He's
working.
Yeah.
Well, guys, look.
He said I'm working on it.
To put this in perspective, 20 months. That's before COVID. This man has been working pre-quarantine. He's had an entire quarantine with no people around him, meaning he shouldn't be talking to anyone. And he just can't stop him. It's like a horrible.
It's so ingrained. I imagine like his team is exhausted at this point. They have tried everything just to get this man to stop saying racial slurs out loud. Like I like to picture them like they sit him down and they're like, okay, John, you're going into a house, you're walking down a hallway, left turn, you're still in a hallway, right turn, still in a hallway, there's doors on your left, there's doors on your right. You're going down the hallway, left turn, black guy. And he's like, N-word. And they're like, dang it, John, you were so close.
Well, that's my big question. Is like, how often was he saying it that he needed 20 months of work on it, right? Like,
and who's
in your vocabulary? Like, I know tons. Wow, this is just sounds so. I won't say this. I was about to say I know tons of black people.
One of my best friends is a black guy, so I can say whatever I wanted.
No, but it's so true. It's just like, what normal person needs 20 months of work to get a word out of your vocabulary in the first place?
And especially that word.
Yes, exactly. It's so stupid.
Like, you know it's wrong, and yet he just grinds through it every time. Like, just like, I have to. It's like, no, you don't, John. You actually don't.
That one was better. I did a soft A. Did you guys hear that? It was I'm getting there. It's progress.
Watch,
How long until I get this podcast canceled? I
think it's this one. I think it's second. I think it's the second one.
If they don't cancel us for Ryan hating women, they're gonna do it for me. None of my jokes are racist, but they are about race. And anyway, last thoughts about Papa John.
No, let's just move on. Yeah.
No, we're gonna move on for that. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Seuss Publishing House has stopped publishing 6 Dr. Seuss books for racist imagery.
You go ahead.
No. So I mean, mine is completely kind of off kilter. I just don't like Dr. Seuss. I don't like him as a person.
Well, I don't
He's a
trust
bad
doctors
dude.
anyway, so.
I mean, like, well, here's the thing though. Like, he cheated on his wife and then left his wife who was dying of cancer, and then she had some I think it was cancer, and then she killed herself. And then here's the crazy thing, weird turnaround. So he marries that woman he was cheating on her with, and then she gets control of all of his estate, and he's like, sell off none of my books, none of my estate. She sold off all of them. You know, like a monster begets a monster. And so at this point, I'm just kind of like, I wonder if he'd want him to be published or not, but I don't care, man. Like this is kind of like, I don't know, like, it's just, so that's my thoughts on Dr. Seuss just as a person. I know nothing about this story. That's
so
Dan, you would probably have thoughts on this.
So basically what happened was the publishing house made this decision to stop publishing the books because they're not selling well. And when they do, you know, people are like, hey, this is messed up, like this racist imagery, and they're like, you're right, we should stop publishing it. That was like the extent of the story. Now, because of that, a whole lot of like right-wing airheads have basically just been like, I can't believe the government's banning books, and Dr. Seuss, like 2 days after the books were stopped being published, some congressman had a dramatic reading of Green Eggs and Ham, like in his office, reading it dramatically.
Wait, is this legit?
Yes.
Wait, Green Eggs and Ham wasn't even banned,
It wasn't
was it?
even one of the books that was
Yeah, I didn't think it
stopped.
was.
No. Like, I could ask either of you guys to name one of the 6 books, and you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, no.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole point. Is it's just like it's totally irrelevant. The stuff that like did translated into pop culture, and the rest of that stuff got left behind. So, first of all, why are you making a big deal of it? Second of all, why are you defending racism? Like, and it's like blatant. There's just like it's not great. It's not a good look.
It's the whole. They're taking up the stance against quote unquote cancel culture. But they failed to distinguish between canceling someone for no good reason and canceling racism. Like, they don't understand how to separate those two things. So they're like, every time something gets canceled, it's not good. And like, we're over here like, we should cancel Nazis. And they're like, you can't cancel things, man.
Stop canceling.
Last thoughts on Dr. Seuss. Going once.
No.
I don't understand this next one, so you guys are gonna have to explain to me what Pooh,
Dan's gonna have
and Kodak Black beef are.
Kodak Black. Well, no, his name is Kodak Black, not Black Beef, but it says Kodak Black and Pooh Shiesty are currently beefing on Twitter, and the only reason I added this. That's the only reason I added this. I just love the fact that he saw Winnie the Pooh. And was like, you know what my rapper name is gonna be?
Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty.
It sounds like a bad leprechaun. Like, hello there, my name's Pooh Shiesty.
He's like, oh, that poo I just took was pretty shiesty. That's a great rap name.
And that's the only reason why, but I think it's silly, and they should resolve their issues.
So Pooh Shiesty has beef with Kodak Black on Twitter.
Yes.
That is the
I don't even really know.
It's funny that both of them were named after bears. I think that's interesting. Like, I just
It's a Kodiak.
A Kodiak. It is a Kodiak. And I realized that after I said it, I was like, I'm dumb.
You're gonna get Ryan canceled for one way or another. Let's jump in here. Dan.
Audience submissions.
No.
Oh
Dan,
no. Let's be. Oh, yeah.
Dan's LGBTQ for the straights.
Straights.
Yes. My question for this week is, Ben and Ryan, what is your skincare routine?
Ben?
Well, you see, so
if you say you just wash your face,
when I,
I'm loving this.
And so
no, go on. Yeah,
right.
No, tell us more. What serum do you use, Ben?
I use a thing.
Do you use a toner before that or after it?
No. I use toner in my printer. I'm so sorry. Look, I have like a face wash in my shower.
Is it part of your shampoo?
No. I have a separate
more.
bottle of shampoo and conditioner. They are both tea tree. I have a body wash that is like coffee vanilla extract with like good stuff in it.
So you're flavored? What the?
Yeah, I smell.
What do you think it's doing for you? Okay.
And I bought a separate face wash that is specifically meant to like clean your face. Now, do I do anything besides that? Sometimes I moisturize after the shower, and anything other than that, not a chance.
There he is. There's the guy that doesn't wash between his butt cheeks.
Whoa, hey! Whoa, hey!
That's the only TikTok
I told you that in confidence.
Ryan, what's your skincare?
Oh, thank you for asking. So we've got like a daily cleanser that we're gonna start with. That's how we're gonna get up there. Then we're gonna do a toner.
Do you?
And
Yeah.
it depends on what we're feeling.
What's the name
I
of
was
the
using,
cleanser?
it's a Neutrogena. Yeah.
Short-
No,
short
it's
term?
Cetaphil. It's Cetaphil. It is Cetaphil.
Right. I feel like you're just grasping at straws here, bud.
Yeah.
Neutrogena.
And then I'm doing.
L'Oreal, you're worth it.
We're worth it. But then I'll do a toner. I will do a serum, and then I will do a. But I gotta be honest with you, I don't do them all the time. There's some days where I'm just like, this works for me.
I feel like you're the worst straight people to ask.
Yeah, no, probably. That's probably.
When I was
why
a
do you-
kid, most days I would just
I want to know.
Ivory soap and water.
Yeah.
And I never had breakouts in school. Like I played outside all the time. I was constantly in dirt sweating. When I was a kid, I had the 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and all I ever did was wash my face with soap and like ivory soap. I never got breakouts. I rarely had zits. Like,
Yeah,
to be fair, it really just is like what's working for your skin and what's not. Like,
Yeah.
there's
that is true. Yeah, it is true. It is true.
Yeah.
So to the gays, stop shaming people for their skincare routine, which was what I was going to do to these guys until they just made that point. So,
No, I was totally on board to shame Ben.
skincare is important.
You guys are gonna have to try really hard to shame me and make me feel it.
You have dirty skin, Ben.
Yeah.
That's the
And you
Oh
look
no!
beautiful.
Sometimes I go 3 days without showering, Dan. It's a pandemic. All right, moving on to audience submissions, questions and topics they want us to talk about. Mostly just questions they want answered. So, without further ado, Colorado. That's the full thing. It's very white there.
Second question is actually extra white there. Germany. No,
Super
nothing
white.
else.
Germany.
Nothing more there.
Yep. It's a
That's
place.
the end of the question.
Yeah, that's the whole. Not even a question mark, by the way. It wasn't even like Germany, and us to be like, no, it was just Germany, and like I feel like it was very too commanding for someone to say Germany. Favorite kind of cheese?
Oh, pepper
Mozzarella.
jack.
Ooh. Yeah, pepper jack. I'd say pepper
Yeah. I feel
Mozzarella
vindicated.
is so versatile.
Yeah, but it's like the whitest cheese.
Ben,
Pepper
do you
jack
not
is
like
white too.
It is
All
pretty
cheese
flavorful.
is
though.
white.
It's got
I like-
flavors. No, it's not.
Yeah,
Yes,
No,
it is.
there are different colored
No.
cheeses.
Just because
like
it says blue
American
cheese.
cheddar.
American is only yellow because they put yellow food dye in it. If you look at actual American cheese or cheddar cheese, it's white.
There are blue cheeses. There are
No,
blue-gray
it's
cheeses. They're
because
brownish, yellow. There's
mold
cream.
is blue, Ryan.
That's what cheese is doing. Like that's.
Cheese comes from
be honest-
milk. Milk is white. All cheese is white.
Nah.
No.
Just disagrees. Nah.
Mozzarella is just
No.
the most versatile of cheese. You can
No,
make
like
it in a
like
stick and you put
sage
it on
derby.
pizza.
Sage derby cheese is green.
Herby,
flavor
herb. Do you
profile.
hear
It's
the word?
derby.
Der-
Derby, my guy. There like, apparently there are oh man, I'm gonna really Mont Dior
Monster.
Lyonnaise.
What?
Like yeah, Solars. These are different type. I went to a cheese website to just
Okay.
kind of store my way out of
All
this.
right. We're just gonna move on to
Macadamia
the
nut
next
cheese?
question while Ryan does cheese.
Pimento. There's a cheese option.
Do you remember the Alamo?
I've actually been to the Alamo recently, so but I do remember seeing it. Yes, it was nice.
No, I
So,
don't remember
yeah.
the Alamo. I wasn't
No.
there.
I don't remember the map. Yeah, I don't know
wasn't
what that
born
is.
Yet.
That's
But
where
I
the
know we lost.
Mexico and Texas like warred.
Yeah,
Mexico.
I know Texas
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
lost
each other-
the
wait.
Alamo,
They did. Yeah, it didn't go well.
and they're still like, remember it, and we're like, all right.
Okay.
Are you remembering it? Because I feel like you.
Well, because it was a
wouldn't be too
battle
proud of
cry. Yeah.
it. I feel like you shouldn't be too proud of that. If
You know what-
Okay.
There's definitely a person who remembers the Alamo every single day. Unfortunately, though, we know that for sure.
Okay. Do you guys have plans for your 1 year COVID anniversary?
What's it like? We're gonna go out for it? That's kind of a hurtful question.
I
Yeah.
probably can.
Yeah. Okay. Ben can. Yeah.
Will I?
Drink?
No.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
5 days.
I don't know how to celebrate. How do you? Why celebrate that as well? Is my question.
I don't know, but it's in 5 days for me.
Yeah,
I
mine's
don't
in
think
4.
I'm gonna do anything.
Last day of work.
I'm gonna go
show
cough
the
on
next
some
day.
people.
What about Ben's like, I'm gonna go commit a biological terrorist act.
Yeah,
Like,
just
that's
spice it up.
I'm gonna
on
go
a
get
Friday
arrested.
or whatever.
Get vaccinated or something.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't have enough money for that.
Yeah.
Not in Florida.
They're making it free in Utah.
Well, it's free everywhere, but like in Florida, if you pay Ron DeSantis, he will fast track your vaccine.
Oh, that's
I have a sketch
That's
coming
good.
about it.
Good to know. Good to know.
Cool.
Next
Great.
question, Florida man. That's it.
Nope. That's it.
That's. Do you guys? What do you guys think about me?
I
think
liked you
you're
better
mean
before the
to
start of this.
Ryan.
Yeah, I was like, I liked you better before the start of this episode. Like, I used to have really good things to say about you, Ben. Now I think that we live too similar of lives, and that hurt you as much as it hurt me.
We've lived so similar lives, and yet
Wait.
I'm still somehow like way more of a delight. You know?
Ben, I do want to know. I do want to know what the most Florida man thing you've ever done.
I jumped
in
on an
your life
alligator when I
is.
was 13.
Jump. Wait, what? Jump.
I was
On-
triple dog dared to jump on an alligator when I was 13.
Oh, I thought you
It
said
is
you
am-
jumped at an alligator, and I was
Well,
like,
I mean, I did jump
on
at
is-
it, and then I
He
jumped
did at and then
I-
on.
Yeah, I landed on
Yeah.
top of it.
That's
Yeah.
amazing that you're still here. How big was the alligator? Is it a baby? Was it a real?
It was about probably like 5 foot from head to tail. So not a
Wow.
big one.
I mean, I feel like that's very dependent. That feels bad.
Like objectively, not a big gator.
Gotcha.
It's about
Noted.
my size from head to tail, and like what, a third of it is the tail. So
I don't know
Was
if
it-
that. I don't know if for me and Dan, you're actually helping us at all with this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, all you gotta.
wow.
Should we just make this story time?
Yeah,
It'll-
do this next week. Do this
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
week's story time.
Next
Yeah.
question. Ghosts?
I
don't
played
know.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yes, I believe in
No.
ghosts.
Yes, I believe in them. No, I don't like them.
I didn't know that was part of the question.
I just wanted to make it clear for every ghost watching this podcast. I don't like you. I get canceled for not liking ghosts.
Dan is like, I will fight every ghost watching this podcast right now. I hate ghosts. I believe in ghosts just for the purpose that I think life is more fun when they exist.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Yeah, it's just like it's interesting to have like ghost stories and stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like I'd be
Make great
bored if there
movies.
weren't ghosts. Not that they actually
True,
affect
yeah.
my life at all. Ryan, did you say anything about ghosts other than Luigi's Mansion?
No, that's pretty much my only experience with ghosts was Luigi's Mansion.
Okay, cool,
And
cool, cool,
It was
cool.
good. Yeah.
It was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing moment on or off stage.
I feel like that's a story time.
That
You know
could
what I
be
mean?
as-
Like,
that should be
Yeah.
because I can't think of it right now, and I'm not saying that I haven't had them. I've had plenty, but
I've
I
just put that away.
yeah, I like I have
Yeah.
to dig into the trauma box.
Yeah.
Next one.
Wait, did you lift up your shirt?
Nobody.
No, I know.
The trauma box.
The trauma box is down. Ryan, do you want to
trauma
read
box
this
is-
next question because somebody submitted it to you?
Someone submitted this question to me. Does Bruno Mars gay?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know him like that. I don't know what
feel
Bruno
like
Mars is
that's
up.
more of a question for Bruno.
Yes.
Right,
That's,
yeah, right,
that's for
yeah.
him to explain to us. And,
Should
yeah.
we DM Bruno Mars right now and say, "Do you gay?"
Here's
I
the
think-
thing. No, because I think we all have enough followings that Bruno Mars could post and be like, "Look at these homophobes," and then we'd have to air this podcast to be like,
Let me
"No,
do
we're
it."
just dumb." Like,
Let me
Yeah,
do it. I
yeah.
can do it. I can do it.
Dan will do
I'll
it.
message Bruno Mars. Do you gay? My
Oh my gosh.
our podcast audience wants to know.
there we go. Yes.
Do you gay?
And we
Do you
expect
gay?
a message next week.
Yes, we'll
Um,
see you updates.
Okay. What cheese would you be if you were a cheese? Mozzarella.
I
Mozzarella, hands down.
probably Swiss for me.
Because you're so holy.
I'd be like a
Yeah, because holy and just aggressively pale. That's why I'm just.
Fair enough.
I'd be a craft singles because it's not like really useful and it's not really anyone's favorite, but everyone has it, in their fridge. I'm
Jesus,
around.
Dan.
I'm around. Good guy.
I'm
Dan.
around.
All right, so when we do this podcast in person eventually, Dan gets a hug.
I was gonna say mozzarella because I do a lot of stuff. I'm into a lot of things, But all right, Dan.
Speaking of which,
doing all right there,
Nah.
bud?
I'm in darkness.
what would you guys have done if we weren't comedians? Where would you be?
Ooh.
I would probably be working at Boeing as an engineer.
I'd probably be doing advertising, honestly. That's the only other thing I could imagine. Or just honestly working at a call center, like a day job.
Ugh. As someone who's worked at a call center before, ugh. What about you,
I'd either
Ryan?
be working business, marketing, or honestly, I'd probably be working for the government for like Homeland Security stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do hate women?
No, I have an IR degree, and then I also have a master's with a concentration in Homeland Security. So it was just like, it's where I'd be.
I don't have a single degree. I don't even have an AA.
Nice. And
Dropped
we're
out of
all
college before
here.
that. Yeah.
So who cares? Like that.
Coolest, most exciting thing being on TikTok has done for you?
I got two. I got to go drive tanks with the narrator, which was awesome. We drove 1970s tanks, like off-roading them, and that was cool. And then Wayne Brady followed me back, and that blows my mind. That was like, as an improviser for so long, I was like, yes, like what an abs, because he's such a nice guy.
Yeah,
he's such a legend. And I feel like everybody's got like that one person that follows them that you're just like, my life is like, it's that weird I feel good.
For me, that was Trixie Mattel. Yeah, Trixie Mattel, the drag queen.
Shut up! That's so
follows
cool.
me, and I love her. I love Trixie. So that was like my life is just complete.
It is just fully.
Now
Ben's
we're
headphones
stuck with
disconnected,
me
so
not
we can
hearing
say
you. So Dan, say your
whatever
thing.
we want. He's already said his thing.
My
And
thing
Ben doesn't
again.
know. Yeah.
No, why don't you just commentary on what I said?
Let's just you know what? Let's just roast him. He can't hear us. Who cares?
I'm just gonna hope they reconnect.
Everyone go.
I feel like y'all are just talking trash about me right now.
No, Ben. What would we have to do?
Never,
to say,
never.
You couldn't get real headphones.
you
What
could.
happened? What happened, bud?
I'm
Did that
back.
$15,000 bonus from? Okay, never mind.
So,
Yeah, finish that sentence. Yeah.
the reason I got disconnected is I opened my TikTok to look at a message that I had because I wanted to read this. Right. Dan, did you do your thing?
Yeah, he did his thing.
I said
Mattel.
Trixie Mattel.
Oh, okay. So one, I've gotten to work with Drew Lynch a couple of times, and we're actually doing another video this week, which was pretty cool. And two, Wayne Brady also followed me back and sent me a message, but he did not respond back when I messaged him back.
What did you say to him?
Yeah, what did you
How do
say? Did you
offend
insult Wayne?
Wayne Brady said to me, I've done a deep dive on your videos, and wow, thank you for being a smart, clear voice in a sea of BS.
Wow.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I had a fangirl moment, and then I messaged him back, and shooters shoot, So I said, I appreciate that. I don't have anything right now, but if I ever needed a new character, would you want to play someone at the table?
That's all respect, bro. Yeah. Shoot your shot.
It has been a month, and Wayne Brady has not responded to me. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Do you want me to just text him? I mean, I can just.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. Do you know how cool that would be? No, I'm not gonna.
Again, the fact that you guys both have that as your cool moment on TikTok is, I don't know. It
really shows how cool
it's
Wayne
freaking me
Brady
out that
is.
you guys have the same life experience over and over again.
True. It's weird. It's weird, man.
Oh.
What are you gonna do except find out that Ryan and I actually are related? And
Long lost brothers.
Long lost. I look nothing
Cousin.
like you.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I don't
you
look
can
anything
grow a
like
beard.
my actual brother either. So.
Oh wow. So actually, then more plausible, I guess.
I feel like I look like the child of both of you. Like it's just like this weird blend.
Absolutely.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh my
The
gosh.
chubby fat kid that...
Our bouncing baby boy.
Yes, and
Yes.
That's a callback. Anyway, that is the end of the podcast there. That's all the questions. That's all the time we had for. Thank you so much for listening. And if you want to get in touch or follow any of us, Ryan, where can the fans find you?
Me, you can follow me at Youth Pastor Ryan on TikTok, Youth Pastor Ryan on Twitch, or Ryan Kelly Comedy on Instagram because I couldn't get Youth Pastor Ryan. So, yeah. Dan, what about you? Where are you available?
I am available on all platforms as Dan Bam Bam, except Snapchat, where it's Dan_YOLO Love, because I can't change it.
And
So,
you can
yeah.
find me on every platform at Ben_Brainard. Facebook is Ben Brainard Comedian. And you can email the podcast at podcast@gdfmpodcast.com if you want to submit some questions for us to answer next week. That being said, thank you guys so much. That is episode 2. We love you. We appreciate you. Bye.
See you next time.
Bye!